How's it going, everybody? The Steam Summer Sale is running from now until July 9th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, that's enough yapping from me, so let's get straight into it. For $20, 60% off, Mount & Blade II Bannerlord is an epic Dark Ages sandbox RPG where empires are torn by civil war, kingdoms rise beyond the borders, and you must carve out your own legacy across the vast continent of Galradia. Combine strategic diplomacy, trade, and roguery with skill-based directional combat as you develop your character, recruit companions, and raise armies to command in massive real-time battles and sieges. For $10, 50% off, Dave the Diver is a charming hybrid adventure where you dive into the ever-shifting blue hole by day to catch fish, battle deep-sea threats, and uncover secrets, then manage a lively sushi restaurant by night with a steadily expanding cast of quirky characters and new mechanics. Upgrade your gear, juggle customer demands, and unravel the mysteries of the blue hole's strange ecosystem in an addictive loop full of personality. For $4, 90% off, Detroit Become Human is a cinematic narrative adventure from Quantic Dream that pushes the boundaries of interactive storytelling with stunning visuals, emotional depth, and meaningful, far-reaching choice that truly immerses players. Set in the futuristic city of Detroit in 2036, society thrives on the labor of androids, until they begin to show signs of consciousness and rebellion, throwing the world into chaos and moral uncertainty. For $30, 50% off, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice Game of the Year Edition is a brutally rewarding action-adventure set in late 1500s Sengoku Japan, where you play a shinobi seeking vengeance and honor. This edition includes the Reflection and Gauntlet of Strength boss challenge modes, Remnants allowing players to view and rate your actions, and 3 unlockable cosmetic skins, adding layers of replayability and challenge. For $24, 60% off, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a grounded first-person action RPG set in 15th century Bohemia, following Henry of Skalitz on a gripping journey of revenge, identity, and loyalty against a backdrop of political unrest and social upheaval. Explore a richly realized medieval world of dense forests, bustling towns, and morally complex choices, while shaping Henry's skills, reputation, and relationships through reactive RPG systems. For $10, 80% off, Hearts of Iron 4 is a grand strategy war game where you take charge of any nation through World War II, building industry, forging alliances, designing armies, and planning campaigns while alternate historical paths open with every decision you make. This bundle includes 4 expansions, Death or Dishonor, Together for Victory, Waking the Tiger, and Man the Guns, adding new nations, naval features, and alternate history content. For $9, 70% off, Sons of the Forest is an open-world survival horror simulator where you're sent to find a missing billionaire on a remote island and instead find yourself in a cannibal-infested hellscape, free to craft, build, and survive however you choose. Fight mutated creatures, chop trees, build cabins or seaside compounds, manage changing seasons and scarce winter resources, and tackle the nightmare alone or in co-op with friends. For $18, 70% off, Cyberpunk 2077 is an open-world action RPG where you play as V, a mercenary fighting to survive in the sprawling neon chaos of Night City as you chase power, answers, and a path to freedom. You'll explore massive districts, take on gigs and story missions, and customize your build with deep RPG systems, cyberware upgrades, and branching dialogue that meaningfully affect combat, navigation, and narrative outcomes. For $18, 70% off, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is a third-person shooter hack-and-slash that lets you embody the superhuman and brutal might of a Space Marine, battling the galaxy's horrors with devastating weaponry and relentless tactics. Crush Tyranid swarms, defend humanity across epic solo missions, and coordinate with allies in intense 3-player co-op campaigns and PvE challenges, unlocking new skills, gear, and cosmetics. For $30, 50% off, The Last of Us Part 1 is a story-driven action-adventure rebuilt from the ground up, retelling the award-winning journey through a shattered post-pandemic America. With completely rebuilt visuals and animations, refined combat and stealth encounters, and an emotionally charged cross-country journey following Joel and Ellie, it delivers a definitive version of one of gaming's most celebrated narratives. For $15, 50% off, Grand Theft Auto V is an action-packed open-world adventure where 3 criminals, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, navigate the ruthless underworld of Los Santos, planning high-stakes heists in a city teeming with opportunity. You'll explore a vast, detailed city filled with dynamic events, side activities, and hidden secrets, seamlessly switching between characters to tackle missions with strategy, skill, and chaotic creativity. For $25, 50% off. Ready or Not is a tense, realistic tactical shooter where you lead an elite SWAT team to restore order in a city overrun by ruthless criminals and widespread corruption, danger, and chaos. You'll plan and execute high-stakes missions, positioning your squad for precise breaches, neutralizing threats, and rescuing civilians, all while making life-or-death decisions that affect your team's survival and the success of each operation. For $10, 75% off, Warhammer 40k Darktide is a brutal first-person co-op shooter set in the hive city of Tertium, where you and your squad of rejects fight to purge the forces of chaos before the city collapses into madness. Create and customize your own character across several classes, mastering a fluid blend of brutal melee combat and devastating ranged gunplay inspired by Vermintide's intense, weighty action systems. For $7, 75% off, Subnautica drops you onto an alien ocean world where survival depends on exploration, resource management, and ingenuity, blending breathtaking underwater environments with tense, immersive survival gameplay. From sunlit coral reefs to perilous deep-sea trenches, lava fields, and rivers, you'll navigate ecosystems teeming with both helpful and dangerous creatures, while managing oxygen, crafting tools, and scavenging resources. For $10, 50% off, Valheim is a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players set in a procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology, where you craft weapons, raise longhouses, sail open seas, and slay epic bosses to prove yourself to Odin. Gather resources, brew meads, grow crops, build and defend sprawling bases across diverse biomes, and face increasingly powerful enemies alone or with friends on player-hosted dedicated servers. For $8, 67% off, Risk of Rain 2 is a fast-paced roguelike where you fight through hordes of relentless monsters on an alien planet, solo or with friends, mastering each character's unique abilities to survive. You'll explore visually striking locales, collect over 110 powerful items, and adapt to a scaling system that grows both you and your foes stronger over time, while unlocking 10 unique survivors and experimenting with artifacts to modify gameplay. For $24, 60% off, The Outlast Trials is a co-op survival horror experience from Red Barrel set during the Cold War, where unwilling test subjects are imprisoned inside Murkoff's sadistic psychological experiments. Sneak through nightmarish trial facilities solo or with up to 3 friends using stealth-focused gameplay, scarce defensive tools like stun rigs and blind mines, and 10 objective-based missions that pit you against grotesque enemies. For $3, 90% off, Metro Exodus is an epic story-driven first-person shooter from 4A Games, blending combat, stealth, and survival horror, as Artyom flees Moscow on a continent-spanning journey across Russia through non-linear levels and changing seasons. Face mutated creatures and hostile factions, follow a gripping storyline inspired by Dmitry Glukovsky's novels, and experience one of the most atmospheric post-apocalyptic worlds ever created. For $14, 65% off, Sea of Thieves is the essential pirate experience, sailing, fighting, exploring, and looting in a vast, shared open world where you have complete freedom to approach other crews as friends or foes and carve your own legend. Hunt for treasure, battle megalodons and the Kraken, forge a reputation with trading companies, fish, and work toward becoming a pirate legend in a constantly evolving game with seasonal updates and free content. For $15, 50% off, Stray is a third-person adventure where you play as a lost cat navigating the neon-lit alleys and shadowy depths of a decaying cyber city in search of a way home. You'll climb rooftops, sneak through forgotten ruins, and interact with quirky droids, hostile creatures, and environmental hazards, while solving clever puzzles and uncovering the city's haunting secrets buried beneath layers of rust, grime, neon, and forgotten technology. For $7, 70% off, Oxygen Not Included is a space colony simulation where you guide duplicants through the perils of asteroid living, managing oxygen, warmth, food, power, and plumbing in elaborate bases while keeping stress under control. Build interlocking pipe systems, manage thermodynamics, recycle waste into fuel, and explore procedurally generated worlds as your colony grows from barely surviving to thriving. Just don't forget to breathe. For $4, 85% off, Devil May Cry 5 is a high-octane, stylized action game where demon hunters Nero, Dante, and the mysterious V battle a hellish invasion threatening to consume Redgrave City, each bringing a radically different and devastatingly stylish combat playstyle. Built on Capcom's RE engine with photorealistic visuals, epic boss fights, and a killer soundtrack, it's the most technically advanced and an unmissable entry in the legendary series. For $21, 65% off, Persona 3 Reload is a reimagined RPG where you step into the shoes of a transfer student thrust into the mysterious Dark Hour, awakening powerful abilities while forging bonds that shape the fate of friends and the world. You'll explore this hidden hour, engage in turn-based combat against shadows, and balance daily life on Port Island, from attending school and part-time jobs to deepening relationships that influence the story. For $20, 50% off. Rust is an unforgiving multiplayer survival game where you wake naked on a mysterious island and must scavenge, build, and fight to survive against wildlife, the environment, and other players who will raid your base and take everything. Now in its 13th year with over 395 updates, it features procedurally generated worlds, trains, modular boats, deep-sea exploration, a new jungle biome, complex electrical systems, and much more. For $20, 60% off. Street Fighter VI is the latest evolution of the iconic fighting franchise, powered by Capcom's RE engine and featuring 3 immersive modes, World Tour, Fighting Ground, and Battle Hub for both casual and competitive players. Step into the shoes of 18 legendary and new fighters, each redesigned with cinematic specials, unique abilities, and a range of classic, modern, or dynamic controls to master combat at any skill level. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.